I watched them from behind the pillar near gate 27. She was already raising her voice, trying to wrangle chaos into order. The twins darted in opposite directions, one toward the vending machines, the other toward the security line. Her husband looked like he'd pay good money to board a plane to the Arctic, alone. I gripped my boarding pass a little tighter. Not theirs, mine. Different flight. Different gate. Different airline. A life I should have stepped into 10 years ago. I didn't say a word. Didn't wave. Didn't even flinch when my phone buzzed moments later, as they realized I wasn't coming. I had waited far too long for this moment. They just hadn't realized it yet. When I was 5, Emily used to braid my hair. She'd hum softly, like a lullaby, and when she finished, she'd smile and say, "My perfect little doll." And I believed her. I shadowed her like a second self, carrying her schoolbooks, laughing at every joke, comforting her whenever tears came. But something shifted. Maybe it was when she had the twins. Maybe it started when Mom fell ill. Or maybe she just liked the feeling of someone else bearing the load she never wanted. Somewhere along the way, I stopped being her sister and became her unpaid everything: nanny, emotional sponge, verbal punching bag. "You're so good with them," she'd say, pressing a diaper bag into my arms before disappearing on one of her infamous, quick errands that always stretched into 5-hour vanishing acts. "They listen to you," she'd text in the middle of her spa retreats. Meanwhile, I was juggling crayons and juice spills. When our parents passed, she moved in for a little while. She never left. I didn't notice it fully until the holidays. Every family vacation, every trip, she booked one hotel room, one flight. I'd end up with one twin in each arm, sticky fingers clinging to me while she sipped mojitos on a beach chair. I was slicing fruit, wiping noses, dodging tantrums, and sleeping with tiny knees jabbing my ribs. Not their aunt, just a built-in solution. And she never once said thank you. Last year, I got food poisoning on the 3rd day of our trip, feverish, vomiting, sweating through sheets. She parked the twins at the foot of my bed and said, "They'll stay with you while we go on the waterfall hike." That's when it clicked. Emily didn't love me. She relied on me. Used me. And the worst part was, I let her. So when she sent this year's itinerary, complete with a grinning emoji, I played along. I said yes. I smiled. I packed light. Bought my own ticket. Paid in cash. Told them I'd meet them at the gate. She didn't question it. She was so sure I'd fall into line again. But this time, I didn't pack for sunny beaches or ocean breezes. I didn't even pack for the same continent. I booked a secluded cabin in British Columbia. No children. No tantrums. No Emily. Just quiet, space, and the sound of nothing. When they called boarding for her flight, I disappeared. She called. Then texted. "Where are you? Final boarding call just happened." Seriously, what's wrong with you? I powered off my phone, hoisted my backpack, and boarded my plane. Peace never felt so light. The next morning, I turned my phone back on. 340 texts. Dozens of missed calls. A handful of voice messages where she tried to sound calm but cracked with every syllable. Her words hissed through clenched teeth. "You ruined this vacation. How could you just vanish? They're your family too. It was always like that." They only became my family when she needed a break. I didn't respond. Not immediately. I gave her 3 days of silence. Let her taste what it felt like to carry the load without me there to catch it. Then I sent one line. "I'm not your babysitter. Not anymore." She tried to spin the story, of course. Soon, the calls came from relatives I hadn't heard from in years. "She's just tired. You know how moms are. She said you offered to help. She's devastated." I sent screenshots. Voice notes. 5 years of texts. Proof that I wasn't a sister, I was unpaid labor. The guilt campaign collapsed. The calls stopped. Even her husband messaged once. "I don't blame you. I wish I had the courage to leave too." A week later, she came to my apartment. I didn't open the door, but that didn't stop her from screaming through it. "You're selfish. You humiliated me. The kids missed you." I sat still on the couch, calm for the first time in years. Her words hit the door, but not me. She banged twice more. Then silence. When I finally opened the door, she was still there. Puffy eyes. Shaking hands. I stepped outside and looked her in the face. You spent years shrinking me down, I said quietly. You turned guilt into chains and called it love. That ends today. She stared, stunned, like my voice was unfamiliar. I handed her a box. Inside were drawings, toys, and a letter for the twins. You can tell them I love them, I said. But I'm not their mother. That's your job. And I closed the door. It's peaceful now. I sleep without interruption. I eat when I want. I go where I please. Yes, sometimes I miss the twins. But I don't miss being invisible in my own life. I didn't ruin her vacation. She ruined years of mine. I just finally stopped letting her. And the truth about walking away, it doesn't make you heartless. It makes you free.